Hey everybody, welcome to the next game that I'm going to play, which is Bioshock Infinite, a game I have been waiting for 2 years, and it is finally out. So I'm excited to play this game. Let's see what this is about, eh?
ずっと座ってるつもりなのか。
他にどうするの？立つの？
そうじゃない。漕ぐんだ。
漕ぐ？考えてもみなかったわ。
つまり面倒は全部俺任せだと？
まさか。でも漕ぐのはあなたの仕事よ。
それはどうして？
あなたが行くって言ったから。
え、俺が？
私は興味ないってはっきり言ったはず。
漕ぐの？
それはいい運動よ。
じゃあなんだ？
So there's something really weird about these two. Their conversation doesn't make any sense. It's like they're ignoring me.
でも成功の見込みがなければ挑戦しない。
ボートの話に戻ろう。
あなたが漕がなければ永遠につかない。
いえ、少しは手伝ってもらえたら助かるんだけどな。
後ろの人に頼んだら？私よりもあそこに行きたいでしょうから。
Alright, so we gotta get the girl, I guess.
なぜ？
船が沈没しちまう。
Haven't really played a lot of this game yet. Have seen some trailers, but that's about it. So I'm excited. Heard it's very story-based. So let's see what's going on.
着いたわ。
Alright, we're here. Okay, well, this looks a lot like the intro of Bioshock 1. Are they leaving me?
ここが待ち合わせ場所か。そのはずだけどな。
こんなところに置き去りにされたら嫌ね。
Huh.
中に誰かいるはずだ。
Hey, wait a minute. Why is my nose bleeding? Wait a minute. I'm starting to remember things. I've already done this. I already completed the game. Oh my god, this is another reality! People, welcome to my Aftermath episode. An episode that I've never done before. I wonder how many people of you gave up or were confused when they saw the intro. But don't worry, you are supposed to watch this after my complete series, because we're going to talk about the ending and some theories that I looked up, and still my own theory now that I haven't played the game for a few days and I've written stuff down. So here we go, and I've said it on Japanese because I could, and I showed some friends some of the game. And alright, let's see. Let's first talk about what I think about the game in terms of gameplay after all, because of course many people gave it 10s, and I still love it, and I still think it's, for me until now, it's Game of the Year. It's the best game I played so far for 2013. And the important thing here is that now I have kind of, let it rest for a few days, because in the beginning you are always very, very much in the mood, and you kind of forget to be critical sometimes. And I will actually put the sound, now that you all know it's a trick, down a little bit more, so that I can talk easy over it. See, people are saying that the combat mechanics in this game are not that good. And compared to Bioshock 1, I kind of agree that in Bioshock 1, you kind of have more options in terms of plasmids, of what you can do. You can make more combinations. I mean, you can use the turrets in combination with, you had the crossbow which you could use like traps, so you could trip wires and stuff that would shock them, and then, in terms of AI, the AI was better in the terms that you could set someone on fire, and they would search for a puddle or something, and they would try and dry themselves. And then you could use electricity to, of course, shock them. And I didn't see that here. I don't know if it's possible, because you could set someone on fire, and there were water stuff, but I didn't see it in the AI back. Other than that, I also thought the Big Daddies were way better designed in Bioshock 1 than here. The Handymans. Handymans were kind of inspirationless. The whole story about the Big Daddies were just so great that they kept to themselves in their own little world, protecting the little sister. And they would not attack you unless you did. And you had the option of actually skipping some Big Daddies, where a Handyman would always attack you and would come straight on. Other than that, some people say that the battles are more difficult here, though. Still, like I said, I did say this in my regular Let's Play, I disagree fully on that. I think Bioshock 1 is way more difficult than this game, because you cannot, or you don't have Elizabeth who throws you stuff all the time, and just big daddies where, you know, they were difficult to fight. You have really had to prepare when you were going to fight them. I also heard that somebody thought the Big Daddies were kind of the worst thing of that game. I thought they were great. They were kind of designed as boss battles. Each time you would see a Big Daddy, the maker said, well, you would get a battle that's kind of like a mini-boss battle next. And I really like that. Other than that, what I did like about the whole fighting system in Bioshock Infinite is with the skyhook. It is very chaotic, very cinematic, so though I do have to say that I think the battle system in Bioshock 1 has more to offer, I did not find this bland, as some people say. I really had a lot of fun with it. Maybe it's because I did it on normal. Some people say, like I said, they found it way too easy. For me, it was also too easy. I didn't die very much. I heard people say that that last part, where you need to protect the core, was very difficult. I, got that in one try. So that's something else. I think I got everything. So let's talk about some of the theories about the ending and stuff. Since I had some questions, and some of those questions are answered. Though I do not agree with all the theories I heard. I got the theories from different podcasts, or YouTube videos, or things I read on the internet. So I think one of the questions I ask is, why am I, Booker DeWitt, in the same world with Father Comstock if I am also Comstock? How is that possible? And I think I said something about going into the lighthouse and that is a portal to a new world. But of course what happened is that Robert Lutez, he opens the portal in the later bit. I will, in the later on in this video, I still have the chapter, I will load the ending again, so I will talk a little bit about that, because I also want to show you something about Rapture that I have an own theory on. But let's see. So, why is Comstock and DeWitt are in the same world? It's because DeWitt came from another world. He came from the world where he was in the office, and Robert Lutez opened the gate, you came through, and because you were all, you fainted, you were all fucked up, and so the quote in the middle where the brain will create memories where none exists, it's kind of your brain messes with you and tries to make it all together, tries to create memories so that the world you're in kind of makes sense. Though sometimes, like the nosebleeds, it won't make any sense, or you're reminded that something is wrong. I mean, that should have been a great hint, that you had the nosebleed, so that was already a hint that you do not belong in this world. So that makes perfect sense. You are sent to a world where Booker DeWitt does not exist in the beginning. The very first world you visit, this world where I am now, where in this this Columbia, Booker DeWitt did the baptism, became Comstock. His new name was Comstock, and I am from that other world, and I came here. So that's why two Booker DeWitts can be in the same world. So that was answered to me. Also, the wife of Booker DeWitt does not play any part. Of course, in the beginning, or at least that's what I thought, is you hear Anna, you hear him talk about Anna, and I presumed that Anna was his wife, which was maybe Elizabeth in another world, which is wrong because Anna is of course the daughter, which is Elizabeth, but younger. But though Elizabeth is of course, it's not a real name. I mean, Anna is her birth name. Elizabeth is a name that Comstock gave to her. But the wife of Booker DeWitt died when she gave birth. He says that. And so that's pretty much all you need to know about the wife. Furthermore, there's nothing else to be said about her, so the wife doesn't play a big part. No relationship with Lady Comstock, so that chapter is put down. The whole motivation why Father Comstock tried to steal Anna also makes sense to me. It didn't make sense when I saw the credits and when I was piecing all the things together, because I was like, why are you stealing your own child? But the big thing, of course, which they reveal when you open the 3 tears, is that Father Comstock is sterile. I don't remember how this happened, but probably, or he went crazy or whatever the fuck, he did something, but he became sterile, so he was not able to create kids. He was not able to have a kid. So, a logical thing to do, since Lutece had invented the technology to travel between worlds, he would find a world where, when he was still Booker DeWitt, where he actually did have a kid, and where his situation was so nasty that he could maybe bribe or try a deal to get the daughter. Which was this world, which is exactly this world where we're in now. This reality we're here in now, Booker DeWitt has, so much debt that they say, and he's in such a fucked up position that they say, we will wipe away all your debt, you can go on with your life, you're an alcoholic, blah blah, if you give us the girl, which is Anna. Which I must say, in the Japanese version, they already talk about his daughter, which is very important, which I don't know. They're talking about the girl here they're talking about his daughter. So, for some reason, for the Japanese, it's already kind of spoiled. Yeah. So that's why. So, that kind of then made sense to me. I mean, he wanted a kid, he wasn't able to get one, so he tried to get a kid of his own, since he had still had his genes from another world where his, Booker DeWitt self was so fucked up. And during the sequence where Anna misses her pinky, that means that her pinky is still in this reality, and she is in Colombia, which means that she is in 2 realities at the same time, or a part of her is at least, which explains why she can make the tears. That also now makes sense. The sins that Father Comstock refers to for Booker DeWitt are, of course, wounded knee, which is something they share in common. The gambling, and Anna. He also mentions Anna, that is one of his sins. And of course what he means by that is that he actually chose to give her away. I mean, he was giving a choice. Give Anna, give your fucking daughter, and we will wipe away all your debt. And he accepted that. Well, in the beginning at least. He gave up his daughter, and then right at the very end, he changed his mind and tried to get her back. So that is also explained here, and the only question that people, or that is not clear to me, and that people on other podcasts, is why Father Comstock is a racist. Theory I thought maybe is because it is this time, it's 1912, racism is still a big thing. I myself had the idea that Booker DeWitt is not really, all that anti-racist or racist himself. I thought he was kind of neutral on that. I thought he was like, because Elizabeth says, why are all like the bathrooms divided in colored and Irish and white people? And Booker DeWitt says it just is. So he's like, he accepts it. He may not like it, but he accepts it and he won't change anything about it. That is my theory. That is my interpretation of Booker DeWitt. Some people might disagree because they're like, oh, racist is bad, because we live, of course, in 2013, where racist is no-go, but that time, people thought, of course, different. I kind of see him as that bounty hunter, German bounty hunter in Django Unchained. So why the whole racist thing, that is still kind of a mystery. Also, Father Comstock meets an archangel. Who this archangel is, I have no idea. The other thing is, of course, the reason why Elizabeth kills you before you take the baptism is because Father Comstock started to exist, was born after the baptism. If there's no baptism, Father Comstock cannot exist. The only only thing there, it gets very complicated though, which I still don't understand, because if you erase Father Comstock, that means that Elizabeth does not exist. That's impossible because there would not be a Columbia. Or at least it wouldn't be the way Father Comstock would have made it. You know, that girl would still be there, but it would be Anna. Elizabeth is pretty much died. But because, of course, you are handling with different realities and you're dealing with even different times, you know, modern times, there should be at least one Elizabeth to kill you. To be sure that you are not coming back. Which is weird, because there should always be one Booker, one Elizabeth, one Comstock. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense why some of the actions would do, because you would also disappear. That is something I find really, really difficult to believe. Also, I think it's a little bit too simple for the game to kind of mention that it is kind of black and white. It all depends on that choice where you do the baptism, you are either Comstock or DeWitt, and that determines the whole future of Columbia. Whereas, of course, Andrew Ryan in Rapture was also kind of the Comstock, right? So you were in that scenario, you would be either born as the guy who is the main character in Bioshock, which I forgot the name, or Andrew Ryan. Which is difficult because that is in a whole different time, so the baptism wouldn't even be a part of that. So I don't know how that is a variable of the world. I think about this time I want to go to the last part, to Rapture, to show you guys something. I wrote it all down. That's why I'm doing this. I'm reading this stuff and try to still piece the. It's a difficult ending. Also, the ending for me was very original, but apparently the Lost and some other science fiction series have dealt with this stuff before, so it wasn't very original. So I gotta give him that. I don't watch a whole bunch of series, so I will not say, oh, this game is so original and oh, the writer needs to get a prize and stuff. Like I heard some reviewers say. I don't agree with that. We're going to the load chapter. One thing I did say is that I was not surprised of being in Rapture. I heard a lot of reviewers and people who talked about it say, "Oh, they were so surprised." Where I'm like, "Wow, really?" So you are telling me that you were not surprised by that whole different realities, and you kill someone or you take someone from another reality, and that changed the whole perspective. But you did not see Rapture coming. I saw Rapture coming. That was one of the first things that I thought when I heard you could travel, through time and stuff. I mean, yeah. Let's see. No? Where is that one? This one. What I do like, though, is that there will be downloadable content, which will be story-based, I heard. And one of the story-based is on Songbird. And, of course, one of the defining scenes here in Rapture is Songbird dying over here. He's drowning, right? And some people have the theory that the sound of Songbird dying is in the same part where I think the guy's name is Fitzpatrick or something. The artist. When there's the part where one of his victims is playing on the piano and you can hear the same sound as when Songbird is dying. Now I looked it up. You can look it up in YouTube. It is indeed the same sound. There's no doubt about that. So, the theory that some people have is that while you are in Bioshock 1 listening to the guy play on the piano, that is when Songbird is dying. Because they put the sound of Songbird dying in Bioshock 1. Though it is the same thing, there's no doubt about that, the same sound. I don't know, because people say, oh yeah, he put the sound of Songbird in there. What if it's the other way around? What if it would just dolphin sounds, or I don't know what the fuck, some creepy sound in Bioshock 1, and they copy that and use that for this did this part. So that it could still mean that it's at the same time, but that they didn't actually think about it from Bioshock 1. I highly doubt that that's what they did. I think about this whole alternate reality thing, I think they maybe thought about that during, while they were making Bioshock 1, because that could be a possibility, because Bioshock 2 was of course made by another team, and that's when they already were working on the story of Bioshock Infinite, which meant that they could have thought about this whole theory while they were making, you know, Rapture in this story, and then they came up with it, and then they were like, well, maybe we need to already put some hints in it. Also, some people say it was the sound of Songbird was put in with a patch later on. I highly doubt that, because on the Xbox version it's also there, and to put a patch out there for just the sound is ridiculous, because on Xbox Microsoft demands pay to put a patch in. So I don't think that is possible. Also, another thing that I disagree on is I heard a theory on a podcast when this was taking place, where we are now in Rapture, and that is before the main character in Bioshock 1 is in there. Because what he said, and I thought this at first as well, but I looked at, he said that that tunnel over there, where the Big Daddy is the tunnel where the plane crashes in. I played Bioshock 1 again. It is not. I know that 100% sure that is not the tunnel. It is definitely not the tunnel. So that theory can be thrown out of the window completely. It is not the same. So that doesn't say anything. So I think when it takes place, the Songbird thing, while, you know, the piano playing, is still the theory that is the most logical. But here's my theory, and I didn't hear anyone about this. If you play Bioshock 1 and you come in Rapture, the whole layout is very, 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 very similar. I wonder is if the creators wanted to replicate the first scene of Bioshock 1, where I'm gonna show you guys. I know. In Bioshock 1, you come into Rapture through this platform. And it is very similar. Vita Chamber, same place. Suitcases, same place. This whole part, exact same place. With the difference that the TVs are on and breaking, and there's like this rubble over here, this thing where you need to cross, it's there. This rubble over here is also there. The door is broken, that's also in Bioshock 1. This is the part where the splicer, like, you meet your first splicer to punch him with the wrench. In the original Bioshock, there were, I think, more stuff on the ground. There were, of course, chips. You cannot really take that here. You could, so I don't know why they didn't do it. Then again, this room was a lot more fucked up in Bioshock 1, which could be the case that this was indeed still before Bioshock 1, because this room was very fucked up. Difference, though, is that this door, it had a electric opening, where you needed to shock to open it, but it had this thing. And also these plasmids are exactly the same. So that's why I thought maybe they are trying to convince you that you are at the same place where you get your first plasmid. Even this trash thing is in the same place. However, this is obviously not the same. So, though the layout is very similar, it cannot be the exact same thing, because that hallway in the water is not the same. And there are minor differences that are different. So, I don't know what they tried to do with this specific part, but the theory that I heard mentioning about the plane is false, and the Songbird thing, well, I don't know. I doubt that he put it in there when he was making that. I think he just copied it. Let's see, we are almost done. Yeah, I think this is the last thing that I want to talk about, and that is the very last scene after the credits. After the credits, you wake up, and you hear, like, the music playing, right? And you open the door and you say, Anna, and you don't actually see if she's in there or not. My theory is that Anna is there. Anna lives. Because you killed Booker before he did the baptism, so Comstock never existed. Which means that in all other realities, you know, he would not take the baptism. He would live on. Anna would be born. Wife would be dead. But Robert Ludus would never actually come and retrieve the girl, because there was no Comstock who wanted, you know, a child to, you know, conquer the world below. Which that is why the Ludus family actually went to retrieve you to try and stop that from happening, because they did not want Father Comstock to attack the world below. Then is, if everything is back to normal, where Anna was there, because Elizabeth isn't there, except for maybe that one that needs to kill, you know, Booker. What I don't know is if that Booker DeWitt actually knows what happened before that. Is this a completely new Booker DeWitt? Or is it a Booker DeWitt that will still remember stuff? Which also, I didn't hear anybody talk about this, but when you die, you come back into your office, into that dream world, where if you open the door, you would see New York burning. So what I don't understand is, and you need to no, because you go back to the office 3 times, I think, and all in the story, and all those 3 times are when you are in a near-death experience. The first time is when you are being baptized in Colombia by that priest and you nearly drown. Second time is when you fall off the rails when you first meet Songbird and you land in the water, and you also drown again. And I forgot the third time, but it probably in a later time you also almost die. So what I wonder is, if you almost die, or if you die, that you come into a world where reality is all mixed to each other, because obviously in that one scene where I was in the office, I was in 2 realities at the same time, or maybe 2 dream worlds, because I had all these stuff in my office that was from the old time, but when I opened the door, I was in modern New York. Which that is still something I didn't understand. I mean, when you die, really die, and no need story based, but when you die by, you know, being shot, when you're kind of game over, you return to that door in the office, and you open the door, and you come back into the world. So that is something I'm not too sure about yet, about that whole heaven experience. I mean, that whole office area should mean something. And I'm pretty sure that the office area at the end... Oh, actually... What if that's heaven or something? Because in the end, you really die, right? You are drowned by all the Elizabeths, and you wake up there again. And it's in a world where color does not exist. I don't know. That is also another theory, and I don't necessarily mean it's heaven. Like people say, oh, it's not heaven. No, but what it's like, you know, what comes after that? And see, now I actually went right, not left. All changes. It is. Ah, man, you can philosophize over this for a long time, and people apparently say, yeah, oh no, I understand. I have a lot of experience with the Star Trek and blah blah blah. It boggles the mind for me. I kind of made a lot more sense. Like I made sense why there were 2 of the same person in one world. Why Comstock wanted his daughter. Well, the wife thing, why, you know, she could do tears, I understand all that. The racist thing is not yet clear. That whole office scene is not yet clear to me. How, you know, killing you before the baptism erases everything from Comstock, that is not clear to me, because there are other realities where something else could have happened, you know. Just killing one person in one reality how that would change everything. Then again, it were by multiple Elizabeth, but that is something that, you know, if you think about it, your mind go insane. So I would like to hear some of you guys' theories, since I still, like, as you can see, I still have questions, and I want to know. And this game is just amazing, and I will now do my last bit, and it is absolutely amazing, because after completing this game, I thought about this for a very long time still, and I was already looking at games that I would do Let's Plays of after this, and I couldn't pick one because it all seemed so shallow compared to this. And I was like, damn, it is... This game impressed me on a level that I've rarely been impressed by, and I love it. It is still, for me, too soon to say if it's going to be in my top 10 list, because I said that about Final Fantasy 13 as well. When I was playing it, I was like, oh my god, it's so cool! And then, in the end, it turned out to be actually pretty meh. So I had to, I have to wait for it kind of half a year or something. I said Dark Souls would definitely be in my top 10, but that's because I took like a half a year to complete Dark Souls. But a game like this, where I get so emotionally involved, and where I'm still having all these theories and looking up all these different theories by other people and putting it all together, I rarely had that, and it's great. I wouldn't say it's the best ending ever. The best ending ever for me is still Metal Gear Solid 4, but it is up there in great endings. And though for me it's not complete closure, like I said, I still have questions, it is now a lot more clear to me than it was. So with that, I have to say with pain in my heart that this was it for Bioshock. I'm glad though that I will return here for downloadable content. And with that, I will end. And thank you guys so much for watching. And goodbye, Elizabeth. See you guys next time.